So when you say you believe in science, what does that mean?
Well, obviously, of course, you guys know what science is. Science is observing and testing to come to a conclusion, and I believe that
Observing and testing to come to a conclusion.
yeah, observing, testing, and what is the end
Have
result?
you observed and tested anything?
Wow, that's a good question. Okay, so
When I say information, I'm talking about information written in a book, in a newspaper, on a
yeah,
computer program. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah.
okay.
In our human experience, whenever we see something containing information,
Hmm.
we know there is something intelligent behind that thing. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'll agree with
Right.
that.
So here's your homework. Where did the information in DNA come from? Are you a Christian?
I am not. No, I believe in science. I believe in science and mathematics.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
yeah. I'm not. No, Hansma, I wouldn't say that I'm an atheist. I would say that I just accept reality for what I can see and observe. I will admit I've gone to plenty Muslim panels, and I will admit I have out of all the people I've ever met in my life, Muslims are, and I'm not trying to say it just to say it, but some of the best people I've ever met. One of my good friends in college was a white guy who converted to Islam many years ago. He actually married a Nigerian woman. Well, it's funny because her family was in Saudi Arabia for the past 100 years, but she's Nigerian, and she was like El Hausi or something, but from the Hausa tribe in Nigeria. But some of the best people I've ever met in my life, and I do a conservative YouTube channel, so I think that some of my views align with Islam, but I'm not spiritual. But I do believe this: if there is a right religion, it's Islam. I will admit that. I'm not just saying that just to say it, because I really believe that wholeheartedly.
So when you say you believe in science, what does that mean?
Well, obviously, of course, you guys know what science is. Science is observing and testing to come to a conclusion, and I believe that
Observing and testing to come to a conclusion.
yeah, observing, testing, and what is the end
Have
result?
you observed and tested anything?
Wow, that's a good question. Okay, so I know this, right? I know that when I drink water, right, I know that there is a outcome. That outcome is I'm nourished, right? I know that when I drink pop every single day, I'm sluggish. It has it has some sort of a chemical effect on my body. I could tell just by me, right? And to a degree, we all human beings need water. We can't live on pop alone. We can't live on any other man-made substance alone. So there are aspects of we practice science every day, if that makes any sense, right? You know that you can't drink pop every day, right?
Okay.
Let's,
What's the best argument for God you've heard?
I beg your pardon?
What's the best argument for the existence of God that you've heard?
The best argument for God? I guess the whole idea of what created you, right? So everything needs a creation. So assuming that we create technology, we create automobiles, we create things around us, then what created us? So I've heard that over and over for people.
So what's your scientific response?
I have no idea. I mean, I have a different theories, right? Suppose this is a simulation. Suppose this is we are in a multiverse, or suppose we are in fact the creators. Suppose suppose human beings are everlasting, right? Like there was really no beginning for us, that we always were. I don't know, but these are just ideas that I've always had. I'm not saying that I'm right, but
I thought you just said you were into science.
I am into science.
What the hell has that got to do with science?
It's just ideas. Science is theory, right?
No, that's not what you just said, isn't it? Multiverse isn't science.
Multiverse is definitely science.
No, it's not. Where has anybody observed the multiverse or tested it?
Well, I mean, it's all theory and conjecture, right? So if you look at physicists, like so for example, like Brian Greene or Neil deGrasse Tyson, these are clearly scientists. These are astrophysicists. I think Lawrence Krauss is a theoretical physicist. They've written books on it. Now, does that mean that they're right? No.
So,
it's just
you believe, just so
Yeah.
I understand, sorry, forgive me, I'm just
I'm listening.
unraveling this.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah. Why do you believe what these people say?
I don't believe what they say. That's the whole thing. I don't believe.
You don't believe what they say?
I don't know. I don't believe what they say. What I do is I have an open mind towards everything. a lot of concepts, even Islam. And I just said that I think Islam, out of all the religions, is probably the one that's absolutely right. I did say that. But I don't necessarily believe it. I don't necessarily believe that Lawrence Krauss and Neil deGrasse Tyson are right. I say, damn, that's a good theory. I never thought about that.
One thing I would like to say to you is that science is based upon naturalistic observations. It's
Right.
The philosophy of science is based upon the axiom, which is naturalism, right? Philosophical naturalism.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, whatever we observe, there has to be a naturalistic explanation to that. So whatever hypothesis or theories would potentially come out of that axiom
Mm-hmm.
would have to be of a natural concept. It can't be something that is metaphysical or outside of the realms of the observable. Do you understand my point? So, for example, the universe came into existence.
Mm-hmm.
Science will only look at possibilities that are explainable through natural effects and natural causes. It can never come to the assumption that God must have created it. Science is not interested in God. But you as a person, you see, you don't need to suspend your intellect and your reasoning just because the science have operated on philosophical naturalism. What you have to do is say, well, okay, hold on a second. The universe exists. There can only be a possible number of ways of how it could have come into existence. It could have either come through another material cause,
okay,
or it could have come into an immaterial, something outside of time and space and energy and matter and what have you. Now, if it's a material cause, the problem that you have is it needs an explanation, because all dependent things need an explanation. Because the universe has gravity, the universe has hydrogen, helium, iron, etc., 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 right? So it could have been rearranged in a multitude of ways. So it needs an explanation. If you go back infinitely, ultimately there has to be something that has to be the first cause of everything. You can't have an infinite regress of causes, because to traverse an infinite number of steps, you can never reach today here. We would never be talking.
I don't disagree. I mean,
right? So there has to be a first cause of everything, that itself has to be the necessary existence,
yeah,
and cannot be caused itself. It is the explanation for itself.
Yeah. Could it be possible? I'm sorry.
Right? Mm-hmm. And then when we look, we can see that the universe came into existence at a particular time, around 14.3 billion years ago, whatever, 14.6 billion, whatever the estimates are. And that we know that it possesses many things within it that are necessary in the most minutiae, most detailed way to even have the possibility for there to be life on this earth or in this universe, a life-giving universe. So now the question arises that this necessary cause must be incredibly powerful and intelligent to be able to measure out the precision that is necessary and create more stars than grains of sand on every beach on earth, with all that energy, mass, and matter. This thing, whatever this thing is, has to be extraordinary, outside of our explanatory scope, in fact. And this is God. Because he willed the universe to come into existence at a particular time. He gave you consciousness, rationality, to be able to discover these issues.
Can I give you some homework?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. in our human experience,
Yeah.
is where does information come from other than an intelligent agency?
I would say that a lot of information comes from this innate sense of I don't know why the word is escaping me right now, but
Okay.
your senses, right?
I think you misunderstood my question.
Mm-hmm.
When I say information, I'm talking about information written in a book, in a newspaper, on a computer program. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
In our human experience, whenever we see something containing information, we know there is something intelligent behind that thing. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
So here's your homework. Where did the information in DNA come from? That's your homework.
I have no idea, but I'll do that. Let me ask you a question real quick. Okay, let me ask you a question, Houseman.
You're going to give me some homework. Wow.
Well, no, I was going to ask you a question right quick. Okay, where does intuition come from?
Where does intuition come from?
That's information. Like, for example,
No.
Okay, so for example.
No, again.
Okay.
You're not understanding when I say information. There's a difference between coding and data.
Okay.
Right? You're trying to use information in a data format. I'm talking about in a coding format. Do you understand?
No, you lost me on that. What's the difference?
Oh, okay. When you read a book,
sure,
right, the information is not the book. What the information for the book is the source of that story, article, sentence, paragraph. You know something intelligent has put it together. Now, the data is the book itself, and you're ascertaining when you're reading the pages that this makes sense and whatever. So the point is this: the coding of it behind it. What is the source of that information? Yeah. So the information is what put the words and the words and letters into sentences, into paragraphs, into chapters to make the book. Yeah. We know it didn't make itself. Right. We know it didn't organize itself. We know it's the result of something intelligent doing it. Intelligent agency. So I ask again, DNA within the single cell is information. So we know in our human experience, when we see coding, we know there's intelligent agency behind it. So doing your science, and this is homework, so don't try to answer now. This is, use your science as a scientist to do your experiments and observations and testing.
Okay.
And give me, and the next, when you come on the perfect storm, it's the first question I'm going to ask you. Where does the information in the cell come from?
Cool. So I'll be ready on
that's it.
Storm. That's on Thursday, right?
All right.
And by the way, brother, if you want to email us to ask any further questions, or you'd like to even have a discussion before that, feel free to email us. We can send you out free literature, videos and what have you, for you to sort of refer to a reference, just to give you more of an idea, really, of you know, where we're sort of coming from, really.
Absolutely.
But, it was a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, brother. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.